I sincerely appreciate your faith in my abilities.
Mr. Beckett!
Philadelphia was one of the first big films to speak openly about HIV and AIDS, changing the way society sees people living with the disease. The movie marked the beginning of a new era and is one of the most inspiring films ever made. However, many do not know that there are strange and little-known facts behind the scene. Today, we will look at 20 weird facts about Philadelphia that you probably never heard before. Number 20. Chronological filming. Most movies are not filmed in the same order as the story happens. Scenes are usually shot out of order, depending on what location or actors are available at the time. For example, a director may film the ending of a movie before the beginning if it is easier for the schedule. However, the film Philadelphia was filmed specially. The director, Jonathan Demme, wanted the story to feel real and natural. He asked the actors to perform each scene in the exact order in which the story happens. This is called chronological filming. By doing this, Tom Hanks, who played Andrew Beckett, could slowly show his character's illness getting worse in a very real way. He did not have to pretend to skip between being healthy in one scene and very sick in the next. Instead, the changes occurred gradually as the filming progressed. This made his performance stronger and more believable. It also helped the other actors, such as Denzel Washington, react naturally as the story grew more emotional. Filming in order took more time and planning, but it gave Philadelphia a powerful flow. It helped the actors live the story as it unfolded, just like the audience would later see it. Number 19. Tom Hanks' transformation. For the movie, Tom Hanks had to make a significant change to play the role of Andrew Beckett. His character was very sick, so Tom Hanks wanted to look the part in a real way. To do this, he lost almost 30 pounds before and during filming. This was not easy because losing that much weight takes strict dieting and control. By becoming thinner, Tom Hanks was able to show the physical struggle of Andrew Beckett, a man living with AIDS. The audience could see his body getting weaker as the story went on, which made the character's battle even more believable. Tom Hanks also studied how people with the illness moved and spoke so he could make his performance more real. This transformation was crucial to the movie. It showed Tom Hanks's deep commitment to telling the story honestly. The change in his body shocked many viewers at the time because it was clear that he worked very hard for the role. Ultimately, this transformation enabled him to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. It remains one of the most powerful acting choices in movie history. Number 18. Studio trouble. The movie was rarely released in theaters due to financial difficulties at the studio. At first, Orion Studios was supposed to release the film. This was the same company behind other well-known movies in the 1980s and early 1990s. However, Orion Studios went bankrupt before Philadelphia was finished. Bankruptcy meant the company could no longer pay its debts and was unable to operate. This created a big problem for the movie. For a time, the future of Philadelphia was very uncertain. The cast and crew had already worked hard, but the film could have been lost if another company had not stepped in. Eventually, TriStar Pictures, which was part of Columbia Pictures, took over the project. They gave the film the support it needed to be adequately released. This change allowed Philadelphia to reach theaters in 1993, where it went on to make history. If TriStar had not picked up the movie, people might never have seen Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington's powerful performances. The story illustrates how even important films can be at risk due to business troubles behind the scenes. Number 17. Tom Hanks' real home videos. One of the most interesting facts about Philadelphia is the home movies shown in the film. In the story, viewers get to see the childhood videos of Andrew Beckett. Many people thought these were just made-up scenes created for the film. In truth, they were not. The home movies were actually real videos from Tom Hanks's own childhood. The filmmakers decided to use them because they felt it would add something special and more personal to the story. By showing real footage of Tom Hanks as a young boy, the audience could feel a stronger connection to Andrew Beckett as a person, not just as a character in a movie. This choice made the film feel more real and emotional. It was also unusual since most movies use actors or staged scenes when they need childhood flashbacks. By using real memories from Tom Hanks' past, the movie blurred the line between the actor and the role he was playing. For Tom Hanks fans, this fact is a fascinating detail. While watching Philadelphia, they were not only seeing a character's childhood, but also a glimpse into the true early life of the actor himself. Number 16. Denzel Washington's casting. One unusual aspect of the movie Philadelphia is the casting of Joe Miller, the lawyer who assists Andrew Beckett in the story. Denzel Washington finally played the role. Before that, the director was first interested in another person. According to IMDb, Demme thought about choosing Bill Murray or Robin Williams for the role. Both of these actors were very famous and loved by audiences in the 1990s. They were known for mixing comedy with serious acting, which could have worked well for the film. However, things changed when Denzel Washington showed interest in the role. At that time, Denzel was already a respected actor known for powerful performances in films like Glory and Malcolm X. Director Jonathan Demme had wanted to work with him for many years, so when the chance came, he quickly decided that Denzel was the perfect choice. This decision significantly shaped the movie. His work in the film created a strong balance with Tom Hanks, who played Andrew Beckett. Many fans believe that the pairing of Hanks and Washington made the film more powerful and believable. It is interesting to think about how different the movie might have been with Bill Murray or Robin Williams. Both were talented, but the tone of the story may have changed. Number 15. Mary Steenburgen's improvised line. One lesser-known fact about the movie Philadelphia involves actress Mary Steenburgen, who played Belinda Conine, the lawyer arguing against Andrew Beckett in court. In one of the scenes, her character shows a rare moment of honesty when she admits that she hates the case she is working on. This line was not actually written in the script. Mary Steenburgen herself improvised it. According to reports, the moment happened after she filmed a very intense scene in front of a mirror. In that mirror scene, she had to prepare herself as a tough lawyer who was ready to argue against Andrew Beckett, a man with AIDS fighting for justice. The role was heavy and emotional, and after playing it, Steenburgen felt a genuine dislike for the case her character was handling. So when the cameras rolled, she added the line about hating the case. The director, Jonathan Demme, decided to keep the improvised line in the movie. It made Belinda Conine seem more human. Even though she was on the opposite side, the line showed that she was not cold or without feelings. She understood how difficult the trial was. This small, unscripted moment added depth to the film. It reminded viewers that even lawyers fighting against each other can feel the weight of the case they are in. Mary Steenburgen's choice to add her real feelings gave Philadelphia one more touch of realism and honesty that fans and critics still notice today. Number 14. Ron Vawter casting. Another important fact about the making of Philadelphia is connected to Ron Vawter, the actor who played one of the senior partners at the law firm that fires Andrew Beckett. Ron Vawter was not just any actor. He was also HIV positive in real life. The early 1990s was when many people were scared of AIDS, and there was a lot of stigma and discrimination. When director Jonathan Demme wanted to cast Vawter, he faced strong resistance from TriStar Pictures, the studio behind the film. The studio was worried because Vawter's insurance would not be covered due to his health condition. This meant that if something were to happen to him during filming, the financial risk would seriously affect the production. In Hollywood, such things are taken very seriously, and the studio did not want to take the chance. Jonathan Demme, however, believed deeply in giving Vawter the role. He knew Ron Vawter was talented and would bring authenticity to the story of a man fighting prejudice and misunderstanding about AIDS. Demme convinced TriStar Pictures to allow the casting, standing firm on his decision. His presence in the movie showed that an actor living with HIV could still be trusted with important roles in major films. By insisting on his casting, Demme helped push Hollywood forward, even if only in a small way. Number 13. The Costume Party. At the costume party, Andrew and Miguel are both dressed in U.S. military uniforms. This choice is not just for fun. When the movie was filmed, gay and lesbian people were not allowed to serve openly in the U.S. Armed Forces. President Bill Clinton had promised to change this rule during his campaign. The uniforms subtly hint at this issue, suggesting that the characters are part of a larger story about fairness and rights. In December 1993, Clinton signed a law called Don't Ask, Don't Tell. This law allowed gay and lesbian people to serve in the military, but only if they kept their sexual orientation a secret. The policy stayed in place until September 2011. The movie uses these details to remind viewers of the challenges gay and lesbian people faced, even in critical public roles. The uniforms are a small but meaningful reference to history and social change. Number 12. An original comedic lead was considered. When Philadelphia was first being planned, director Jonathan Demme had a very different idea for one of the most critical roles. The character Joe Miller, who becomes Andrew Beckett's lawyer, was not always imagined as a serious role. At the start, Demme thought about casting a comedic actor. He planned to make the movie accessible to a broad audience. By adding humor through Joe Miller, the heavy and emotional parts of the story might have felt less overwhelming. Some of the names considered for the role included well-known comedians of that time, such as Bill Murray and Robin Williams. Both were famous for being funny, but they had also shown that they could act in serious roles. Demme felt that someone like them could help balance the story, making it easier for viewers to connect with the tricky subject of AIDS and discrimination while still keeping their attention. In the end, however, this idea changed. Denzel Washington showed interest in the role, and Demme had wanted to work with him for years. Once Denzel joined, the character of Joe Miller became stronger, more serious, and much more potent than initially planned. His performance gave the movie depth and made the story even more moving. The decision to shift from comedy to drama was a turning point for the film. While the original plan might have made Philadelphia lighter, the final choice gave audiences a lawyer who could carry the weight of the story with strength and heart. It was proof that sometimes plans change for the better, and casting the right actor can define an entire film. Number 11. HIV-positive extras were hired. One of the most important choices made during the filming of Philadelphia was to bring real people living with HIV into the movie. Director Jonathan Demme wanted the film to feel honest and trustworthy, so he worked with a local group in Philadelphia called Action AIDS. With their help, about 50 extras who were HIV positive were hired to appear in different scenes of the film. This decision was a brave one because it revealed the real faces of people who were living through the same struggles as the story, meaning everyone watching now knows the current status of these individuals who were cast. Many of these extras played patients in the hospital scenes or people attending community events. Their presence added a level of truth that actors alone might not have been able to show. It also gave people living with HIV a chance to be part of a project that was breaking barriers in Hollywood. At that time, there was still a lot of fear and misunderstanding about HIV and AIDS. Many people living with the illness faced discrimination or were kept out of opportunities. It also sent a message that they were not to be hidden away but instead included and respected. For viewers, the inclusion of these extras may not have been immediately apparent, but it helped create a more substantial emotional impact. The faces you see in the background were not just actors pretending. They were people bringing their own reality to the screen. This brave choice is part of what made Philadelphia such a groundbreaking movie, as it seamlessly blended storytelling with real-life experiences in a way that deeply touched audiences. Number 10. A real HIV/AIDS office was used. One very special detail about the making of Philadelphia is that a real HIV support agency was part of the filming. The group was called Action AIDS, and it was based in Philadelphia. This agency worked to help people living with HIV and AIDS by offering support, guidance, and community. The filmmakers decided not only to work with Action AIDS, but also to use their actual office as one of the film's locations. In one scene, Tom Hanks's character, Andrew Beckett, receives IV treatment. Instead of building a fake set in a studio, the crew filmed it inside the real Action AIDS office. This choice gave the scene a stronger sense of authenticity because it depicted a genuine location where real people had sought help. It was not just about making a movie look realistic. It was also about honoring the real fight against HIV that was happening in Philadelphia at the time. By including Action AIDS in the film, director Jonathan Demme demonstrated respect for the individuals doing important work in the community. It also drew more attention to Action AIDS, helping people around the country learn about the kind of support and services that groups like this offer. For the actors, filming in such a real and emotional setting added to their performances. They were reminded that they were not only telling a story but also reflecting real struggles faced by many. This detail may seem small, but it is part of what made Philadelphia so powerful. The film blended real people, real places, and real pain into its story. By filming at Action Aids, the movie reminded audiences that behind the Hollywood cameras were real lives, real battles, and real hope. Number 9. The stories shared were real. One of the most moving parts of making Philadelphia was the group of extras who appeared in the film. They were not just actors, but people living with HIV. This allowed us to hear the real stories coming from real victims. During filming, these extras did not feel alone. They had each other. Many of them had faced hard times in the real world, where people often mistreated them or feared them because of their illness. On set, they found comfort in knowing that others around them understood exactly what they were going through. They shared stories, encouraged one another, and reminded each other that their voices mattered. For these extras, being part of Philadelphia was not just acting. It was about showing the world that people living with HIV were real human beings with honest hearts, struggles, and dignity. Even though their roles were minor on screen, the meaning behind their presence was tremendous. The director, Jonathan Demme, wanted to make sure the film was honest. By hiring real people living with HIV, the story became stronger and more truthful. The extras felt proud to stand together, knowing they were being heard in a way many of them had never experienced before. This detail shows how Philadelphia was more than just a movie. It gave people who often felt invisible a chance to be part of something important. Number 8. Hank's double win. The movie was highly successful, and Tom Hanks would go on to win several awards for his portrayal of a man who had AIDS. After winning for Philadelphia in 1994, Tom Hanks won the Best Actor award again the very next year for Forrest Gump. That meant he had won 2 Oscars in a row, which is something rare in film history. It showed not only his talent, but also how audiences and critics respected his skill. Winning for Philadelphia was also a turning point in his career. Before that film, Tom Hanks was primarily known for comedies like Big and Splash. People loved him as a funny and kind actor. But Philadelphia showed that he could take on serious roles and deliver performances that carried deep meaning. It allowed directors, studios, and audiences to see him in a new light. The double win gave Tom Hanks a level of respect that very few actors have ever reached. It placed him among the greats in Hollywood history. For young viewers, it is easy to see why. He made characters feel real, whether they were light and funny or serious and heartbreaking. Philadelphia was the film that started this rise, and the award was proof that his career had reached a new level. Number 7. The film was based on a real-life story. The story of Philadelphia was not just made up for the screen. It was inspired by something that really happened in real life. In the 1980s, there was a lawyer named Jeffrey Bowers. He worked for a big law firm in New York. When his bosses learned that he had AIDS, he was let go from his job. He believed that this was unfair and that it was done only because of his illness. Jeffrey Bowers decided to take his case to court, suing the firm for wrongful termination. This real event became the basis for the story in Philadelphia. In the film, Tom Hanks plays Andrew Beckett, who is also a lawyer facing the same kind of problem. He is talented, respected, and works hard, but he is fired because he has AIDS. Andrew then fights back by suing his firm, much like Jeffrey Bowers did. While the film changes some details and creates its own version of events, the heart of the story is closely tied to what happened to Bowers. Director Jonathan Demme and the writers aimed to use the film to shed light on issues that were very real at the time. Many people with AIDS were facing discrimination in workplaces, hospitals, and even in their own communities. By using Bowers' case as inspiration, the film gave millions of viewers a way to understand these struggles. For victims of HIV and AIDS, it was just a story. It is a film that reflects the truth of what people were going through. The connection to a real case gave the story weight and made it more powerful. It reminded audiences that behind the characters were real people facing real battles. Number 6. Sue Ellen Kaler's story. One of the extras who appeared in Philadelphia was a woman named Sue Ellen Kaler. She was living with HIV at the time. She was hired along with many others who were hired to be part of the film because the director wanted the presence of the actual set of people the story was about. For Sue Ellen, this was more than just standing in front of a camera. It became an essential moment in her life. Being part of the movie gave her the courage and hope she needed. She saw how a big film could bring attention to people like her, who were often ignored or mistreated. Watching Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington act out such a powerful story also inspired her. It showed her that sharing her own experience could matter too. Sue Ellen later decided that she wanted to tell her personal story. She began writing about what it was like to live with HIV. She even planned to share her writing with Tom Hanks, the actor she had once worked with on set. Her goal was to help others understand what people with HIV go through every day, and to give hope to those who may feel alone. Her journey shows how being part of Philadelphia was not just about making a movie. It gave real people a chance to feel seen and heard. Sue Ellen turned that experience into something lasting by using her voice and her story. Her story is a source of inspiration for everyone, and it proves that even minor roles can create significant changes in someone's life. Number 5. The Almost Love Story. When Philadelphia was being made, the studio had to make some crucial choices. At first, some scenes showed more of the love between Andrew Beckett, played by Tom Hanks, and Miguel Alvarez, played by Antonio Banderas. These moments showed that they were more than friends, but the studio felt nervous. They believed that audiences at the time might not be ready to see two men in a close relationship on a big screen. Because of this, those scenes were cut from the final film. Some people were still afraid of revealing the truth about same-sex love. Yet the director and actors worked to make sure the story was told in a way that still opened eyes. For children learning about this today, it shows how even in movies, people must stand up for what is right, even if it means disagreeing with powerful studios. Number 4. The courtroom was real. When you watch the movie Philadelphia, many vital scenes happen inside a courtroom. At first, you might think that the filmmakers built a fake courtroom, like a set, just for the movie. Sets are usually made on a stage with props and walls that can be moved around. However, that was not the case here. The courtroom scenes in Philadelphia were filmed inside a real courtroom. The city of Philadelphia gave the filmmakers special permission to use an actual courtroom for the movie. This made the scenes look and feel more real. The walls, the judge's bench, the chairs, and even the echo of voices in the big room were all authentic. Nothing was pretend in those moments. The filmmakers wanted to use a real courtroom to make the movie appear as realistic as possible. This choice also helped the actors. Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, and the other cast members did not have to imagine what a courtroom felt like. They were standing in one place while delivering their lines. That atmosphere made the scenes more powerful and believable. It serves as a form of awareness movie for children watching it today and educates them about the disease. Using a real courtroom reminded everyone that the issues in the film were not just make-believe, they were based on real struggles faced by many people. Number 3. The tragedy after it. When the movie Philadelphia was filmed in the early 1990s, it was not just the actors like Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington who helped tell the story. The producers also wanted real people to appear in the background, especially in the courtroom and hospital scenes. To do this, they worked with a group in Philadelphia called Action AIDS. This group helped people living with HIV and AIDS, and it also helped the filmmakers find extras for the movie. The filmmakers asked Action AIDS to find about 50 men who could take part. Many of these men were gay and were already living with HIV or AIDS. Their appearance, such as being thinner or appearing weak, reflected the impact of the illness. By including them, the film presented a more accurate portrayal of what the AIDS crisis was like in real life. These extras were not just acting. For many of them, it was their real daily struggle. Later, a sad fact about these extras began to spread. Some people said that out of 53 gay men who were extras in the movie, 43 of them died within 1 year of the film being made. This sounded shocking and heartbreaking. However, writer Brian Cronin looked closely into this claim on his website, Entertainment Urban Legends revealed. He explained that the story was not entirely correct. Cronin used research, including a report from the New York Times, to explain what really happened. The truth was that about 40 of the extras did pass away, but not all within 1 year. Their deaths happened slowly over the following years as AIDS continued to take lives at that time. One of those who died was Ron Vaughter, an actor in the movie who played the character Bob Seidman. Freelance writer Clifford Rothman also wrote about this subject in a 1995 article for the New York Times. His writing confirmed that many of the extras were indeed sick with AIDS, and that many of them passed away not long after appearing in the movie. This fact shows how real Philadelphia was. It was not only a movie telling a story, it was also connected to real people who were living through the AIDS crisis. Their presence on screen made the film more powerful, but it also reminds us that their lives were cut short. For viewers today, knowing this history adds another layer to the film's meaning. The extras were not just part of the background. They were real people whose stories mattered. Number 2. Pauline Washington's song. One of the songs in the soundtrack is called "It's in Your Eyes." This song happens to be sung by Pauletta Washington. She was not only a talented singer but also the wife of Denzel Washington, the leading actor in the movie. Many people know Denzel for his strong roles, but not everyone is familiar with Pauletta. She has her own gift. Her voice is calm, warm, and full of feeling. She touched most of the audience with the song. The song itself plays at moments in the movie that are quiet but very important. It is the kind of song that makes people stop and listen. It can evoke feelings of happiness, sadness, or contemplation. The lyrics speak about love, hope, and understanding. Pauletta's voice makes the words come alive. Even if someone does not know the story of the movie, they can feel the emotions just by listening to her sing. Having a famous actor in the family makes everything easy. That is not true. Pauletta has worked hard on her own career and her own talent. Singing for a movie soundtrack is a big job. She had to ensure her voice fit the story and the tone of the movie. She needed to practice, listen carefully, and perform in a way that matched the emotions on the screen.
How are you? Come over here.
Number 1. The shaved head. For the movie, Tom Hanks had to do something audacious. He shaved his head completely. He did this for the role of Andrew Beckett. Andrew Beckett was very sick with AIDS. To make the movie feel real, Tom needed to look like someone going through that illness. Shaving his head was not easy. Many people love Tom Hanks for the way he looks, and seeing him without hair surprised them. It also showed how much he cared about the role. He wanted to make the story honest and trustworthy. When actors do something like this, it helps the audience believe in the character they are portraying. People do not just see Tom Hanks, they see Andrew Beckett living his life, feeling his fears, and facing challenging moments. Andrew Beckett's story was both sad and important. He faced unfair treatment because of his illness. Tom Hanks had to display the symptoms of the sickness and also portray a character of courage, hope, and sadness. Shaving his head was part of this. It gave the audience a clear picture of what Andrew was going through. Sometimes actors make significant changes for their roles. They gain weight, lose weight, or change their appearance. Shaving one's head is one of the most important changes, as it cannot be hidden. Tom Hanks made the change to show the truth of the story. People watching the movie could see that he was serious about the role. They could feel the character's struggles more deeply. When the movie came out, Tom Hanks received a lot of praise and support for his performance. The shaved head became a symbol of his dedication. It reminded the audience that acting is not only about pretending. It is about stepping into someone else's life and showing it honestly. Tom Hanks gave everything for Andrew Beckett, even if it meant seeing himself look very different in the mirror every day. Philadelphia in 1993 was full of surprises. The movie had many hidden stories. Learning these weird facts shows that movies are more than just what we see on the screen. Every choice, from the actors' looks to the music, adds something special. Some facts make us laugh, some make us think, and some make us feel amazed at how much work went into the film. Even after all these years, Philadelphia continues to teach lessons about courage, fairness, and friendship. Remembering these little-known facts helps us see the movie in a new way. In the end, Philadelphia is more than just a movie. It is a story full of heart, hidden surprises, and moments that stay with people for a long time. What do you think of the movie? Do you believe it helped in the fight against stigmatization? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more inspiring content like this. Before you go, kindly watch the other videos on your screen. Thanks for watching.